My name is Doni Aliev, and I'm a grade 10 student, and I'm here interviewing Bob Gustavson. So who influenced your life the most?
Probably my parents and grandparents. Teachers had a lot to do with it. Especially the principal that I had at the time, whose name was Bill Derby, and the school is named after this particular gentleman. And he was the principal here before the war and after the war. During the war we had different principals, but yeah, I would say parents, grandparents, and teachers.
And what did they do to actually influence your life?
Oh, Bill Derby was a very strict principal. He was a little bit of a man, but he held a very strict rule at school. You didn't do anything out of place, or you were expelled, or you might even be, as it was known, thrown downstairs. People have been thrown down the stairs at the old high school that we used to have. It was a two-story building, and we had the 12th grades there, but he was very, very strict.
What changed when you came back to the town?
Well, there wasn't that much of a change to me because I'd moved away for 26 years. I went down to Toronto area, found a job, and I was married then, but we came back almost every year. So I couldn't see any drastic change. But, there was some building going on, and Main Street had particularly a bit of a change. Businesses were going up, some were coming down, but the streets now were paved, and yes, I thought Strasbourg was improving a lot, and I think it's improved a lot since.
Yeah. What did you do on an average day when you were little?
Oh, I was a bit of an experiment boy. I started work early at age, 10 years old, delivering groceries, and I worked for my dad, who had a garage when I was finished delivering groceries at that time. And I think that, I roamed the town a lot. I liked the farm life. I spent a lot of time going out to farmers' places, spending the summer, and it was quite a life, especially the dairy farm we had at that time. And I spent complete summers there.
What did you do at the farm?
Oh, not too much, because we turned the cattle out to graze, and I always got on the horse that they had there to deliver the milk, and I'd go out and get the cows, and it was to me it was a great life, out in the fresh air all the time, and they were nice people.
Did the technology change significantly?
Things were changing, especially after I think I retired. I kind of retired early, 55, and I didn't really quit work. I wanted to keep working, and I worked for different people when I came back to Strasbourg, and yes, things were changing quite a bit by then.
What did you do for fun?
Oh. Of course, we always chase girls. But no, I played a lot of hockey. I started young. I enjoyed it. And I finally went to Saskatoon to go to school for 2 years. And I had the chance to come back, and I played 2 years with Nokomis. And then I came back to Strasbourg to live permanently, and I finished my career here in Strasbourg, but I played for Govan for about 10 years. Went down east, found a job, thought I would still love playing hockey, but hockey was different down there. It was very rough, and when you're supporting a wife and trying to keep a job, you had to stay healthy. So I gave the hockey career up, and I took in ball. And I loved playing that. I played that for years and years. And I didn't have any trouble with them. So I enjoyed particularly my career down in Ontario.
What occupations have you had throughout your life?
Well, any occupations that were paying. I started quite young delivering groceries, as I said, and then I worked for my father for a number of years, went down east, and I was a partsman at a Ford car dealership, the biggest independent Ford dealer in Canada, actually. And then I worked part-time at a service station, and the gentleman that had the service station wanted me to come full-time. So I left the Ford dealer, and I went working for him, and I thought, oh, I know everything about a service station. And he said, I'd like you to go on course. So I said, well, okay, I'll go, but I went for 8 weeks, and I still worked at nighttime, and I found out I didn't know anything about working in a service station. It's a career that I really loved, and I came back after I was done school there, and they offered me a service station in a nearby town. It had been there since about 1928, and I went there, it must have been in the 60s, and it was in a very, very small town, but the business was very, very good. Very competitive, and if you were good to them, they were good to you. And I did that, and then I said no, I didn't want to stay at that. Hours were too long, so I came back to where I lived in Richmond Hill, and I took up a job with Goodyear, and I worked there for a great number of years, and finally the store closed, and they asked me if I would like to go down to head office and work, and I said sure, I'd go down there. And I went down there, and I traveled for them for a great number of years, and that's where I finished my career before I came back to Strasbourg.
Is there anything else that you want to share?
Oh, I don't think so. I said I was born and raised here, knew all the people at that time, but today Strasbourg has changed so much that I don't hardly know anybody, even the people on our street. It's hard to keep. Well, I've got some good ones there, and yes, and I must mention her name, Carol Schultz, and she's a very good neighbor, and she has been a great employee at the bank and has retired, and I understand she's going to get married. very soon. She has been married and has a great family. One boy still in professional hockey. Don't know what team he's playing for, but yes, I have great neighbors around me. Said I've always been blessed that way.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to see you and meet you.